Hello everybody, how are you? It's Mike Andrew, once again providing a short video with practical insights as it applies to business and leadership. Today I'm going to talk about emotional intelligence, EQ. What is that? What does it look like on a day-to-day basis? I'm sure most of you know something about it, have heard about it, and if you have, you'll understand that all the research shows that EQ, emotional intelligence, is a much more of a determinant of career success than IQ. And I like to say, you know it when you see it. I know that this was a breakthrough concept that came out a number of years ago by Daniel Goleman. And there's a formalized view of what makes up EQ, which is great. But I like to keep things simple and practical, so I'm going to talk about my view, which I think is consistent with what EQ is all about and what it looks like in business and in leadership. When you think about leadership, it's about achieving results through others. So what better way to achieve results through others than to be competent and skilled in EQ, emotional intelligence? The ability to deal one-on-one with people, to listen, to have empathy, to get a sense of what they're going through, knowing how to relate, and knowing how to adjust and adapt to be more effective in that one-on-one relationship. It's being approachable. I'm amazed at how many times a leader will get a compliment because he or she is considered approachable. We should all be approachable, but that's also a piece of it. The ability to give feedback and to do it in a way that is candid and honest yet respectful. I call that treat issues coldly, people warmly. Giving feedback in a way that it's palatable for most people. And even in social situations and meetings, especially high visible meetings, knowing what to say, what not to say, when to say it, when not to say it, how to say it, and how not to say it. All those things, a social acumen, interpersonal, all make up, in my opinion, EQ. There's a lot of research out there, by the way, that looks at leadership derailers. What are those behaviors that could derail a leader in his or her career? Some of the more prominent ones, I'll start with arrogance. A person who is arrogant, bold, a sense of entitlement. That's not going to get them anywhere. It may to a point, but in the end, it is considered a derailer. The opposite of that is humility. That will get you more. Imperceptive. Do you ever see those people that say things or do things that really upset people or hurt people, yet they had no idea that what they did or what they said had that effect? Imperceptive. The opposite of that is interpersonal sensitivity. Finally, there's another one called volatility. Those people that, when stressed, they get upset, visibly upset, your face turns red, and then they're not approachable. And people observe that. And the opposite of that is they call it adjustment. It's being calm and collected and professional under those stressful, tense situations. So those things, interpersonal sensitivity, humility, and the ability to deal with stress calmly and professionally, all aspects of in my opinion, EQ, as well as giving feedback in the interpersonal and social. You probably have people you can think of that that demonstrate EQ. I have many, but for time purposes, I'll just pick out two. One person that I knew that all through high school, all through college, not a good student, just basically, he had the IQ but never applied himself. But when he got into this business, into a certain business, his EQ got him right to the very, very top. Very impressive. I never would have predicted it, but very, very impressive. Non-business. I remember when I was a young boy playing baseball, playing sports. I had a baseball coach, one of the nicest men I ever met in my life. When I look back, EQ. I would do anything for this guy. I would go through a wall for this guy, and he enabled my success. And it makes me think of, what about those coaches that don't have EQ and the damage, the harm it causes on athletes or young boys and young girls? The same with parents. I've seen many parents at hockey games or baseball games yell and scream at their children, and what happens to those children? They end up not moving forward in the sport in many cases. Anyway, EQ, you know it when you see it, primary determinant of career success, much more than IQ, and focusing on the interpersonal as well as knowing what to say in meetings and so forth. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.